I also specifically remember teaching one younger girl. She was only about 14. I confess I learned later, because I was a greenie, I really didn't know better. Um, we had been tracting, and my companion felt really strongly that we should tract this specific street. And as we were tracting it, it actually started to be a little discouraging. Like, why would she be guided to this street? Nobody's home, and the people who are home are being mean to us. Nobody really horrible, but just go away, we're not interested. And I was still new, so that was a little hard to take. But as we're nearing the end of the time that we're going to keep tracting, we also get to the end of this street, and we knock on one more door, and we had agreed, we're probably not going to go past this house. We need to go do other stuff. And we knock on this door, and we explain who we are and ask if we can come in and share a message. And this girl says, yes, I would love that. And, my immediate reaction was, oh, this is why she got sent here. And she invites us into her front room. The reason we shouldn't have gone in is because her parents weren't actually home, which we didn't know immediately. Because she was a minor, even though we were women, we shouldn't have stayed until her parents were around. But that was an accident. And we started with the first lesson, which at that point we were still doing the discussions. We hadn't gotten Preach My Gospel yet. But the first lesson is almost the same. And you start out, not at the beginning of the lesson, but in the first lesson, teaching about Joseph Smith. And the way my companion and I taught tended to be trading off principles, but we would kind of switch who started. And this time it was my turn to teach the story of the first vision. And that also is one of the most significant experiences of my entire mission. That one lesson, because as I recited his words, and I was the one speaking, that is strange, but as I recited those words, the Spirit just poured over me and told me in a way that I had never experienced before, even though I had grown up knowing that the church was true. And I mean, not just because my parents told me, I had my own testimony, but this was so much more powerful. Just that feeling that these words that you're saying right now, this happened. This is real. And then I get to the end of it, and I'm explaining to Diane, that was her name, that this really happened, and that God really speaks to people today. That ever since that point, we still have a prophet, and that God is still speaking to the earth the way he did in ancient times. And her face just lights up. And no joke, she goes, really? And not in an ironic way. She was so excited to hear that. And I went inside, I'm going, she's right. This is amazing. I've taken it for granted all my life. I've just always known there was a prophet. I've had a prophet since I was a baby. And so that was normal to me. But seeing her reaction and seeing the world through her eyes for that split second, I went, this isn't just a mundane, normal thing. This is amazing. And it's this beautiful blessing. And just, I don't know, it touched me so much to see her excitement that God speaks to us, that we have a prophet. And her mom came home and initially was kind of like, who are these strange people in my house with my daughter? But Diane told her who we were, and she immediately calmed down. She was actually fine with it. And we didn't get to continue teaching her at the time because her parents were divorced, and it was time not long after that for her to go to her dad's house. So she wasn't in our area anymore. But I don't know what happened to her after that, but I know that that experience changed her. And I hope that at some point she got to hear the rest of the gospel. And I really believe that even if she hasn't yet, that at some point she's going to get to learn the gospel, and that she's probably going to accept it. She was so excited about it. And I'm glad I got to be there for that.